Okay, welcome to lesson 19, least common multiple and least common denominator. So denominator is just a number on the bottom of a fraction, and to make it simple, I'm going to call it a number on the top and a number on the bottom, but that is the actual technical term for the number on the bottom of a fraction. So here's our objective, our vocabulary, multiples. Now, multiples, when we talk about multiples, we're talking about a number and all of its going through multiple 2 times 1. So let's deal with 2. So when we say multiple, what we mean is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. Then 8, 10, 12. These are the multiples of a number. So that's the string of numbers going across or down on a multiplication chart. Common multiples. Multiples shared by 2 or more numbers. And this is going to be important for our discussion today, our lesson today. Okay, the least common multiple is the lowest multiple of 2 numbers. And this is what we want, is the least common multiple, so that we can have the lowest common or the least common denominator. And that's the number on the bottom when dealing with fractions. So, I just explained this earlier. Okay, welcome to this lesson and a set of lessons dealing with Okay, so now, when we say least common multiple, what you're going to have to do is list each number out. 5, and then 7, and then run through their multiples. So let's take 5. 5 times 1 is 5, then 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. Just to run through some of the numbers of 5, the multiples of 5. Now 7. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 3 is 21. Then 4 is 28. Then 5 is 35. Then 42. And 49. And 56. And these are multiples. And so what we're looking for is the lowest common multiple or the least common multiple. And as you can see from our numbers, 35 is the least common multiple. 5 times 7 is 35, and 7 times 5 is 35. 35 is common and is the least common multiple. And if we kept going, I'm sure we would find another multiple of 5 and 7 besides 35. So, for the lowest common denominator, what we're going to have to do is this is 3/8 and 3/5. What we're going to have to do is run through the multiples of 8 and the multiple of 5. And I'll pick this up on the next slide. So the multiples of 8 and 5. 8 times 1 is 8, times 2 is 16, then 24, then 32, and 40, 48, and 56. And going through 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. And looking through our numbers, we see that 40 is the lowest common multiple to both numbers. So now 3/8 and 3/5. If we were to do something with these numbers, 40 would be the lowest common denominator. It's also the least common multiple. So we would have to do something to both of these fractions to make 8 go to 40 and 5 go to 40. And we'll talk about that when we get to adding and subtracting fractions. So these are 2 examples. Work on the practice problems, and I'll talk to you at the end of this video. Okay. The lowest common multiple of 9 and 15. So let's deal with 9 and 15 separately. So let's run through 9. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90, 99, 108, 117. I should pick commas to make it nice and neat for you guys. What's after 117? 126, 135. Okay, let's run through our 15. 15 times 2 is 30. 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, 120, 135. Okay, let's see. What do we have that's the lowest number that's common? 90. Look at that. 90 and 90. There we go. That's the lowest common multiple. Okay, now what do we do when we have several sets of numbers? We got 2, 3, 4, and 8. It's the same process. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Let's run through 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Let's run through 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. Okay, let's run through 8. 8, 16, 24, 32. Let's see, do we see a common number? Oh, look at this twos. I messed up the twos. It goes 8, 12, 14, 16, 18. I was thinking about threes for some reason. Okay, but that doesn't change our answer in the least. Okay, let's see. What is the lowest common? I see 24, 24, 24, and 24. So the lowest common multiple to all four of these numbers is 24. Okay, so the lowest common denominator. So when we're dealing with 3/7 and 7/8, I must run through my 7s and 8s separately. And I can tell this is going to go up a while. So 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56. And 56 is the lowest common multiple, which is also the lowest common denominator. And when we get to adding and subtracting fractions, we're going to have to do something to these fractions to make both of them go, the bottoms go to 56. And finally, the last problem. So it's the same thing. 8, 3/4, and 2/3. And as we can see from the previous problem, we had 8, 4, and 3, and 2. And we found that 24 was the lowest common denominator to all three, or the least common multiple. So you need the least common multiple to find the lowest common denominator. Um, a lot of students get that mixed up because they just don't spend enough time practicing it, or it's just something that's glossed over in a rush to get through the curricular materials. Some teachers, it depends on what grade you're on, are given 2 or 3 days to go over this, and you might need 2 weeks to really understand it and explain it and practice it, and make your mistakes and fix your mistakes and all of that kind of stuff. So that's this lesson. This is a series of lessons. I urge you to watch them all before you start adding and subtracting fractions. So thank you for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and get the notifications.